Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, I'm using my camera for the first time. I've just bashed the microphone. This is all a very complicated setup. You can't see it because I can't really get my camera far enough back because I don't have enough room to fit everything in like I normally would do on the webcam. But keep in mind it is all very complicated around here. I've no idea what's going on with the lighting, but you know, it's all experiment, isn't it? I thought I'd use my camera because it's better quality than my webcam, but you're not here for that. That's just all meaningless nonsense that I've been dealing with for the last half an hour or so. We're here to talk about WandaVision episode 6, which just came out yesterday as I record this, and it was called the all-new Halloween Spook-tacular, and we've got a special Halloween episode this week. First of all, spoilers. If you haven't watched it yet, don't watch this, or do, but don't get angry at me if I spoil anything. This one is more sort of late 90s, early 2000s, and it's the opening montage, I will say, or the opening intro, I will say I really enjoyed, because it was very Malcolm in the Middle, I think is what they were going for, which I thought was really good. And then he had the whole narration style of Malcolm in the Middle as well, with with I think it was Billy at first talking to the camera and everyone kind of acknowledging that the camera's there and that kind of thing. That was really good. I like that quite a lot. Obviously in the last week's episode we're introduced to Pietro Maximoff, Wanda's brother, better known as Quicksilver. Obviously, as we said, he was Evan Peters' Quicksilver rather than Aaron Taylor Johnson, who we saw previously in Age of Ultron. But in the little prelude to this episode they did show Aaron Taylor Johnson Pietro, which is interesting. I just realised that light is coming off my laptop, so I'm going to close that a bit, and there we go. Now half my face isn't illuminated. But anyway, enough of that. I'm going to keep that in because of professionalism. But yeah, we've got a few good little bits about Pietro's character, and it seems to be in this episode that Pietro is still the same character, but he just has kind of a different face, which is interesting because us as viewers and as fans know that he is a different actor, and obviously they acknowledge that in the show. But it's interesting because I don't know whether that means that he is meant to be the Pietro from the X-Men universe. I don't think he is. I think they've just done that as a little kind of nod. And there was an odd bit in this episode where one of the kids said, "Oh, kick ass," and then Wanda went, kick ass, which was really strange because, I say, as we as viewers know, Aaron Taylor Johnson and Evan Peters were both in the film Kick-Ass, which is another Marvel property. Not obviously part of all this, but you know, it's originally a Marvel thing, which is really interesting. But yeah, I don't quite know how they did that other than just as a little joke. But Pietro's character was really interested in this because he seemed to know the score. He knew exactly what was going on. And when he asked Wanda, like, "Why am I here?" she was like, I don't know, kind of thing. But he didn't have an issue with the ethics of it, as he clearly said. He was like, "No, I'm actually quite impressed," kind of thing, which is an interesting dynamic. But the main part of this episode was Vision being suspicious after last week, and him kind of investigating things without Wanda being aware, but obviously later she does become aware. I like the scene with Vision and Catherine Hahn, obviously my favourite, when he caught her at the edge of town, Agnes, and she kind of went through, she showed how good an actress she is because she went through lots of different states kind of in one go, sort of thing, which was really cool because she kind of knew what was going on. And another interesting thing was they said that she called Vision an Avenger, and he was like, "Well, what's an Avenger?" Which kind of shows that he doesn't really have any memory of anything before Westview and that kind of thing. The other bits I really liked were, I really liked the unit of Monica, Darcy and Jimmy. They were really cool working together, and Jimmy was kicking some ass. Like when they went outside and they were being escorted off the base, and you know, Jimmy just knocked a couple of guys out, and it's like, wow, don't mess with Jimmy Woo. And I really like Monica, and I've always liked Darcy in like the Thor films as well, and she's really kind of come full circle now, and she's really enjoyable character. But yeah, they talked about how Monica going in and out of the hex has adjusted her cells, and I thought that's interesting. That could be something they could use later on for her to have powers, because in the comics she does become a superhero. I think she was called Photon, and then she later becomes Captain Marvel as well, which is interesting. Again, I've just bashed my microphone because I don't want the sound to cut off. But yeah, this is a disaster, but we're going to keep going, it's fine. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I enjoyed that whole thing with their kind of little unit breaking off, and then they mentioned that Monica has somebody coming to help them, kind of thing. So obviously that raises a lot of questions about who it is exactly. And there's been a lot of theories about this show online, like a lot of people saying about Mephisto being part of it, which hasn't been even hinted at, I would say. But also they reckon it's going to be the way they bring the Fantastic Four into the MCU, which is going to happen at some point. That is confirmed, and probably in the next couple of years. But because when they mentioned Sword and people being lost in space, not lost in space, but people were like, Fantastic Four, they could be the astronauts that went missing and they came back. And then a lot of people saying that Monica's friend that she mentioned in the previous episode and this episode could be Reed Richards, which, it could be. That could be the way they bring him in, which seems a bit low-key for Fantastic Four for me, because for me, I love Fantastic Four, that should be a big thing. But, that's fine. As long as we get him, I'm happy. But I don't think it will be. I think it will be somebody, but I don't think it'll be anybody big. There was an interview with Elizabeth Olsen where she said that there is a cameo in this series on par with the big one in the finale of The Mandalorian series 2, which I think is kind of setting people up for disappointment. Hopefully I'm wrong. If somebody really big comes in, then great, but I don't think there'll be quite anything on that level. I don't know who it could possibly be, but I'm not that fussed about it. I don't watch these shows for cameos and stuff. These little nods are quite nice, but I watch them because I enjoy them, and I really like, again, I said before, I really like how the story is developing in this show. And this episode probably wasn't quite as big and exciting as the previous two, but that's fine because we've still got a few left and it's kind of still building quite nicely. But yeah, I really enjoy this show. The trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier came out this week, and I don't quite know how that's going to follow this up, because it looks like a very different show. It looks like more of a straight action show. I mean, it might not be, which is fine. Again, I'm not complaining, and it's got some of my favourite characters in it. I'm not too fussed about Falcon and Winter Soldier themselves, but I really like Zemo, and he's got his mask, and US Agent John Walker is one of my favourite random comic book characters, so to see him and played by Wyatt Russell as well is really cool. But WandaVision is this multiverse kind of different reality an examination of a woman dealing with grief. It's quite a deep thing, so I don't know how they're going to follow that up with this wacky buddy comedy with Falcon and Winter Soldier. But hey, it's Marvel, I'm going to watch it because why not? I like it all. So yeah, but yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this video turns out alright. I'm aware I've got a few things I need to sort out still, but we'll see how we get on. But yeah, thank you very much. Leave a like, please subscribe, and leave your comments on the episode if you have any thoughts. But yeah, thank you very much. Goodbye.